Story of the Buddha, continued, and the end. Realizing the end is near. After 45 years of traveling and teaching, the Buddha had reached his 80th year. Although his mind was strong, he felt that his body was getting weaker. He realized that his life was coming to an end. So he decided to go north to the foothills of the Himalayas, the region where he was born. He wished to enter the final nirvana, or freedom from suffering. On the way north, the Buddha and Ananda stopped in the bamboo grove village in the kingdom of Patali. The Buddha decided to stay there for the rainy season. During his stay in the village, the Buddha fell seriously ill. After he recovered, he told Ananda, "Ananda, by now the Sangha should know the way to practice, be able to check their practice and attain nirvana. I do not keep any secrets. With all my heart, I wish the best for all the monks and nuns. I am an old man now. You should depend on yourselves. You should rely on the Dharma." In the morning, after eating, the Buddha went to the Pava Stupa to meditate. He sat on a rock in the shade of a tree and investigated with his mind when he would be due to pass away. He concluded that he would enter the final nirvana after 3 months. When he told this to Ananda, Ananda begged him, "Please stay and continue helping people to end suffering." The Buddha replied, "Ananda, the life of the Buddha is drawing to its close. He will attain final nirvana 3 months from now. Death is unavoidable." The final instructions to his monks. Then the Buddha called the monks and gave them many important instructions. He encouraged them to practice his teaching for the benefit of all people in the world and to help others to learn and practice the Dharma. He also encouraged them to serve as good examples for the people of the world. Finally, he instructed, "All things must grow old and pass away. Study the truths I have taught you and put them into practice. Guard your own minds. Do not be careless so that you can be freed from suffering and rebirth." One morning, to have a last look at the city of Vesali, the Buddha and Ananda went there to ask for alms. After that, the Buddha and his disciples visited neighboring villages, and the Buddha taught the Dharma to people. The Buddha also told his disciples that when anyone teaches them the Dharma, they should carefully verify it against the Dharma taught by the Buddha. He said that if it was not consistent with his teaching, they should reject it. Then they continued to the city of Pava and rested in the mango garden, which belonged to Gunda, the son of a goldsmith. Gunda offers the Buddha the last meal. The Buddha taught Gunda and his family. They gained confidence in the Dharma and took refuge in the Buddha and the Dharma. But the meal that Gunda offered to the Buddha contained a fungus that made the Buddha feel very ill. However, in spite of the pain, the Buddha and his disciples continued their journey to Kusinara. On the way, they met a prince of the Mala clan. The Buddha taught him the way to live in peace. The prince took refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, the 3 jewels, and offered 2 rolls of fine gold-colored cloth to the Buddha. The Buddha kept one and gave the other to Ananda. Finally, the Buddha and Ananda arrived at the boundaries of Kusinara, where they came to Salavana, a holiday resort of the royal clan of the Malas. The Buddha felt he could not go any further, so he asked Ananda to prepare a place for him to lie down. Ananda took the Buddha's outer robe and placed it on a bed between two big sala trees. The Buddha then laid down on his right side. He did not fall asleep, but rested to relieve his pain and fatigue. His mind remained as tranquil as it had ever been. Ananda is given well-deserved praise. Ananda felt that the Buddha was really leaving him this time, and he felt deep grief in his heart. So he left the Buddha and went to an isolated place among the trees to cry. He thought, unlike the other monks, I still have not reached the stage of an arahant, and I shall lose my compassionate master forever and be left alone. His face became flooded with tears. When the other monks told the Buddha that Ananda was weeping in a hidden place, the Buddha asked them to bring Ananda back. On Ananda's return, the Buddha praised him in front of the other monks. He told them, Ananda has at all times been my most excellent attendant. He knew how to arrange just the right time for me to meet with visitors. He always treated all visitors well. Later, Ananda said to the Buddha, Lord Buddha, please do not enter nirvana in such a small and unimportant place. Please select one of the large cities, such as Rajagaha or Vesali, and enter the final nirvana there. In those cities, there are many rich and powerful people who are your disciples. They can take responsibility for your holy remains. The Buddha said to Ananda, No, Ananda, do not say that. This is not a small and insignificant place. Long ago, this was a prosperous city and the residence of a righteous king. Ananda, go to Kusinara and tell the king and the people that late tonight the Buddha will enter the final nirvana in this forest. If they wish to, they should come to see me before this time. The people of Kusinara grieved for the Buddha. Ananda went to Kusinara with several monks and told King Mala and his people what the Buddha had said. When the people of Kusinara learnt that the Buddha was about to enter nirvana, they all felt very sad and cried. They said, It is too early for the Buddha to enter final nirvana. The light of the world is going to be extinguished too soon. Men, women, and children crying loudly went to Salavana, where the Buddha was staying. They all hoped to see the Buddha one more time. A wandering young man from an ascetic cult, whose name was Subhada, happened to be in Kusinara. When he learned that the Buddha was about to enter the final nirvana, he decided to visit him. He wanted to ask the Buddha some questions that bothered him. He believed that only the Buddha would be able to give him a thorough explanation. So he went to Salavana and asked Ananda to allow him to see the Buddha. However, Ananda refused him permission as he thought that the Buddha was too tired to see visitors. But Subhada was very anxious to see the Buddha and asked Ananda again and again. When the Buddha heard them both talking, he knew Subhada's good motivation. He told Ananda to let Subhada in. Having listened to Subhada's questions, the Buddha taught him until any problems in Subhada's mind were cleared up. Subhada gained confidence in the Buddha and the Dharma and asked the Buddha to accept him as a monk. Thus, Subhada became the last person ordinated by the Buddha. The last words of the Buddha. Later, the Buddha gave the monks and nuns the last chance to ask any questions. He asked them if any of them still had doubts about the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, but none of them had any doubts about the triple gem. Finally, the Buddha said to the monks, Monks, this is the last time for me to talk to you. All things change. Work hard to gain your own salvation. The final nirvana. The Buddha then entered into meditation, deeper and deeper, until his mind was purely balanced and steadily focused, and then he passed away. Thus the Buddha, the Blessed One, had attained that final freedom known as nirvana. Soon after the death of the Buddha, a meeting of 500 arahants was held to collect together all his teachings. They were memorized and handed down from one generation of monks to the next. In this way, the teachings of the Buddha were not lost, and we can still hear them today.